This is my clinical swallowing trial video, and this is my patient Naomi. So I'm going to go into my oral motor exam, and I'm looking at just, I'm going to push your hair back a little bit. I'm looking at the symmetry of your face to see if there's any asymmetry or any facial droop. And then I'm going to look specifically at your eyes to see if there's any eyelid droop. And then I'm going to have you open and close your eyes for me. Good. Next I'm going to look at the mandible. Everything looks symmetrical. I want you to open and close your mouth for me like this. Okay. Looking at symmetry and how much she can open her mouth and the speed of it. I want you to move your jaw side to side like good. And then I want you to try and open your mouth. Good. And then I want you to clench your teeth for me. Feels nice and round. Next I'm looking at the symmetry of your lips when they're closed. Next I want you to protrude, kind of make a kissing face, and then smile. Good. I want you to inflate your cheeks for me. Good. And then can you say puh for me? Puh. And then buh. Buh. And then Good. All right. So I'm going to put this between your lips. And I want you to close your lips, and I'm going to try and separate them. Good. Okay, so I'm going to take a look inside your mouth now. I'm going to look inside your mouth. Kind of open up like, so I'm looking at your tonsils and your anterior fascial pillars. Everything looks good. Next, I want you to lift your tongue up so I can see underneath it. Good. And then I want you to put your tongue down so I can see on the side. Good. Okay. So open your mouth and just have your tongue inside your mouth. Good. Everything looks symmetrical. And then I want you to protrude your tongue, kind of stick it out. Good. And then I want you to go side to side with your tongue out of your mouth, like good. I'm going to do it with some resistance. Try and push against the big popsicle stick. And do the other side. Good. And then I want you to try and touch your tongue to your nose. Okay, good. And then I want you to bring your tongue down to your chin. Good. Okay. I want you to say ta 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 ta. Ta 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 ta. Ta 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 ta. Okay, good. I'm looking for the alveolar ridge. Comes down a little bit. And then I want you to stick your tongue out, and I'm going to push against. And I want you to try and push the big popsicle stick. Good. Okay. I'm going to I want you to smile with your teeth for me. I'm looking to see if there's any decay or anything missing. Then open up for me. And you do not wear dentures, I'm assuming? Okay. Nope. Next I'm going to look at the palate. So open your mouth. Everything looks good. I don't see any lesions. Everything's intact. I want you to go, and then go, Okay, the uvula looks good. Yeah, so then next I want you to do just a dry cough for me. Face me and cough. Good. And then I'm going to check your gag reflex. I'm going to look in, sorry. We don't want to stick it in too far. Okay. So next I'm going to check for a dry swallow. I'm going to just check to make sure that everything works. Okay, I want you to swallow once for me. Alright, so I feel the hyoid bone went up when you swallowed. That was good. Okay, now we're going to swallow some different things. So we're going to start with some ice chips. I want you to take one. Give me the spoon. Oh. I want you to take one, and I want you to really actively chew it. Okay. And I want you to open your mouth and go, and lift up your tongue. Alright, I don't see any residue. The swallow seemed quick and timely. Alright, so the next we're going to do some water without your straw. Okay, so for the first one, I want you to take a small sip of water for me. And open up. Say, Good. So then for the next one, I want you to take a bigger sip of water. Then open up. Good. Okay, so for the next one, I want you to take 3 sips in a row drinking. So it'll be 3 swallows in a row. And then open up and say, Good. Okay, so next we're going to do a spoonful of yogurt. Okay, so with this, I want you to eat the yogurt, and then I'm going to check to see if there's any residue, and then the quality of your voice. Okay, now open your mouth and say, tongue up. Good. Okay, so next we're going to do a more solid food. We're going to move on to a cracker. I'm going to start with half a cracker. And open up. Sorry. Okay, and then underneath. Good. And then I'm going to have you do a whole cracker. See some good rotary movement. I'm sorry. Tongue up. Good.
Okay, so this is my bedside swallowing evaluation. My name is Naomi, and this is my patient, Hannah McNeil. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at Hannah's face. I'm noticing some facial symmetry. Everything looks good. No facial droop. The next thing I'm going to do is look at her eyelids. Can you open and close your eyes? Great. And then I'm looking at her mandible, her symmetry at rest, and that looks good. Can you open and close your mouth? Good. And for that, I'm looking at her range of movement, her speed, again, the symmetry. Can you move your jaw from side to side? Good. And then open and close your mouth. And I'm actually gonna use a popsicle stick. And with this, I'm just gonna apply some resistance, just to see her strength. So open and close. Good. The next thing I want you to do is clench your teeth really hard. Good. So with this, I'm noticing some really nice roundness. Great. And then next, I'm going to be looking at Hannah's lips. So at rest, they look really symmetrical. Can you protrude and retract your lips like a kissy? Good. Good. And then can you smile for me? Good. And then I want you to inflate your cheeks like this. Good. And then I want you to say pa, pa, ba, ba, and then Good. The next thing I want you to do is I'm going to put the resistance right between your lips. Good. Good. Okay. And then can you open your mouth for me? And for this, I'm just looking at, yep, good, her oral cavity, good. Can you put your tongue up? Good, everything looks in order. I'm also in this looking at her teeth. Do you wear dentures, Hannah? No, good. And then I'm looking at her lateral sulci. Okay, there are no gaps with her teeth. Everything looks in order. I also looked at the floor of Hannah's mouth too. And then I'm going to look at Hannah's tongue. Can you open your mouth one more time? Good. And then can you stick out your tongue like this? Good. So it looks symmetrical. Now can you put it side to side? Good. And then I'm going to apply a little bit of pressure to the side of Hannah's mouth. Good. And she's putting a lot of nice effort against the popsicle stick. Good job. And then can you touch your nose like this? Good. And then your chin. Great job. Now can you say ta ta ta? Ta 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 ta. Good. And then I'm going to just put the popsicle stick right in front of Hannah's mouth while she sticks her tongue out like this. Good job. Okay, the next thing I want to do is look at her palate. So I'm going to have Hannah open her mouth one more time. I'm not noticing any lesions or sores. Everything looks clear. Good. I'm looking at her velum. Great. Can you say ah, ah? One more time. Ah. Good. So her velum is raising. Great. Now I just want you to just cough for me. Good. And that was just to look at her oral sensory point. The next thing I want to do is check Hannah's gag reflex. So I'm going to stick this in your mouth. Great. The next thing I want to do is I want to put my fingers against Hannah's neck and I just want you to swallow whenever you're ready. Good. So I felt that elevation. Okay. And now we're ready to swallow a few different textures. So the first thing I'm going to give Hannah is some ice chips. And then for each of these things, I'm going to have Hannah say an ah, and then I'm going to have her lift her tongue. So go ahead, whenever you're ready. So she's chewing really nicely. I see some good range of movement. She doesn't look uncomfortable. Now say ah, ah, and then I want you to say ah, 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 ah. Good. So I don't see any residue. The velum is raising. Now I'm going to have her lift her tongue up. Good. No residue. Good job, Hannah. The next thing I want you to do is take a very small sip of water. And then I'm going to have Hannah do the same thing. So when I'm having her say ah, and then ah 3 times, I'm looking at her voice. Ah, 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 ah. Good. And then tongue up. Good. So there's no residue. Great. Okay. The next thing I want you to do is take 3 sips of water. Big sips of water. So I'm noticing her swallow. I see some elevation. Again, no residue. Her voice seems clear. Good. Everything looks in order. The next thing I'm going to give Hannah is some yogurt. And this is going to be just a small spoon.
A lot. Okay.
So now again, I'm checking for the residue. Hannah, can you say and lift up that tongue? Good. Everything. There's no residue. Everything looks great. And now I'm going to give Hannah half a cracker. There you go. So again, there's good range of motion. There's no discomfort. I saw her swallowing. And then lift up that tongue. Good. There's no major residue, so I'm going to try her with a bigger piece of cracker. So again, I'm looking at her the timing of the swallow, the residue. Great. Okay, everything looks in order.